As night fell on the 21st of July 2021, an unnamed 16-year-old boy messaged an unnamed 16-year-old disabled girl on Snapchat. They both can't be named at this current time for legal reasons. The would-be friends had met up on 3 previous occasions by themselves prior to the July night in question, each sneaking out from home to meet up with one another. You might have thought they'd been dating, but they weren't. In fact, it's thought the girl had feelings for the boy, but the feeling wasn't reciprocated. The boy travelled to the girl's home, located in Sittingbourne, Kent. That's in the southeast of England for any of you who aren't aware. When he arrived at her back gate in the early hours of the 22nd, it was good vibes. They were having a laugh. The pair decided they'd travel to a park they called the Orchard, just off Highstead Road in Sittingbourne. As they made their way there, again, they shared a laugh. He even piggybacked her for a short while. But as they got closer to their destination, he started to walk ahead and shouted, "I'm going to use the toilet." I'm assuming there would have been some form of public toilets at the park. The boy had been carrying a backpack. The backpack had a change of clothes, a hammer, and a knife inside. When he stepped back out of those toilets, his demeanour completely changed. The laughs had gone, and there'd been an evil look in his eye. Out of nowhere, he grabbed the girl by the mouth, told her no one will hear us or see us, and then unleashed a frenzied knife attack on her. The attack, which lasted roughly 2 or 3 minutes, consisted of knife blows to the face, neck, chest, abdomen, arms, and legs. He had stabbed her 100 times over her whole body. She had tried to call out for help, but once the attack was over, she dropped to the floor. He took her phone, threw it in a bush before insulting her about her disability, and left her for dead. After such an attack, you'd assume that within minutes the girl would sadly go on to die. But at around 7:10 in the morning, roughly 6 hours after the attack took place, a dog walker spotted her and called for emergency services. They rushed to the scene with an air ambulance, and the sight, paramedics say, is something like they'd never seen before. They'd struggled to find a pulse, her clothes saturated with that much blood. They didn't know what the original colour had been. She was taken to King's College Hospital, where it was now a life or death situation. When the girl's parents woke up in the morning, they had noticed that their daughter hadn't been in bed that night. Her bed was untouched. So in a panic, they rang around to see if she was with any of her friends. To no surprise then, she hadn't been with any of them. The girl's mother even contacted the boy in question. His answer? "I'd been with my girlfriend. I don't know where she is." He then started to get defensive out of nowhere and said that everyone would blame him. Alarm bells soon went off and she contacted police to investigate the boy. When officers put 2 and 2 together, they paid the boy a visit and he was arrested in connection with the incident. When police interviewed him, he chose not to answer any questions, but they went on to charge him and he was remanded. While on remand, reports say he revealed his hate for the victim, a leading factor, her disability, but maintained he wasn't responsible for what had happened. However, police had found a stack of evidence against him, including sinister message exchanges. In one message to a friend 4 days prior to the incident, he told them in his head he'd already gone through with the attack. 4 days prior, ladies and gentlemen, a knife, hammer, and a change of clothes had been packed into his backpack, ready for the early hours of the 22nd of July 2021. He'd also told that same friend he'd been thinking of how to hide the girl's body. By some miracle, the girl, after undergoing further surgery at hospital, requiring multiple transfusions, and receiving treatment for her injuries to her liver, pancreas, lungs, kidney, and a severed artery, she survived. Yes, this brave girl survived being stabbed 100 times. After spending a month in hospital, she was even discharged. So the investigation was going to stick to attempted murder rather than murder. And again, the evidence was stacked against the boy. This time, there'd even been a witness statement given against him, of course by the girl. She broke down moment by moment what had happened. The last thing she remembered after dropping to the floor was sounds in the bushes. She assumed he'd been watching her, so she didn't move. She then passed out, and the next thing she remembered was waking up in hospital. The police also found the victim's DNA on the boy's jogging bottoms and leather jacket. Further internet searches were found on his phone in the days before the incident, including how to deal with killing someone, how to kill someone with a knife, and the highest sentence for murder in the UK. But it seems as if the boy had a deep-rooted hatred for the girl, and for whatever reason, it stemmed from the girl's disability. 6 months prior to the stabbing, the boy branded the girl a crippled bitch, adding he would rather shag a dead cat. The 16-year-old would eventually go on to change his plea to guilty, given all the evidence that was brought against him. He was recently sentenced, and in the sentencing hearing we come to find out that he began to suffer with mental health issues prior to the attack, which caused his parents to seek professional help. Fueled, they say, by the lockdown, he became more irritable and anxious, spoke about ending his life, and would take a knife to his bedroom. Only 2 months prior to the attack, he had even threatened to kill himself. He was only ever diagnosed after his arrest, however, with autism and comorbid depressive disorder. He was eventually given a life sentence with the minimum term of 10 years, and he sat emotionless throughout the hearing. The girl has since gone on to make a full recovery, back to her daily life, although now she suffers with PTSD, which I believe she's getting ongoing support for. We'll never truly know why he decided to take it upon himself to nearly take a vulnerable girl's life, someone who couldn't fight back. If she did, the efforts would have been minimal. But the fact that the girl had the fight in her to survive 100 knife blows, even to an artery, is something you have to sit back on and think, wow, what a fighter. We've seen people sadly hit with one knife blow and their life has been taken, so the fact that she was dealt with 100 knife blows and survived, bearing in mind where the knife blows hit, she could have easily died, is mind-blowing to say the least. For long-time subscribers, you'll know we covered this story when it broke, and the news that circulated said it was 60 stab wounds, so for that number to now be 100 makes this story all the more crazy. For now though, give the video a like for more crime-related content like this, and make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't. It's been me, Abe Honcho, and I'll see you in the next one.